Hey, okay, so welcome to the Ultimate Sourcing Sheet, and hey, congratulations for downloading it. It's great to have you on board with this. Now, this introduction video is quite simply just going to talk you through a few points that you probably want to be aware as you go through the training and use that sheet over the course of the first month. So stay tuned, some really important points that I'm going to touch upon. Now, what I will say is this is a Google Sheet. Now, you might kind of ask, where does this sit in the whole ecosystem of software products that we use? Well, quite a lot of the tools that we might use, SAS, BuyBot Pro, FBA Multi-Tool, they all integrate into a Google Sheet. And then a lot of the accounting software that we use and tools and reprices, they are software. Now, to get the two to talk is actually quite difficult, and actually we kind of sit in between. This isn't a simple sheet, this is actually quite a complex sheet, but it isn't full on as much as, should we say, software is. So there are limitations to what we're able to achieve. And sometimes, we might not be able to do everything to the standard that you would expect in software. But the reason is we are working with the limitations of what Google Sheets is. But also as well, it's a real advantage because we can also link into the sourcing tools that you're using. So as you go through the sheet over the course of the first month, just be aware that this isn't software. But also as well, it does have a lot more to it than what is a simple Google Sheet, for example, the API connection. Now, because of this, the fact that we are a Google Sheet and not full software created on a web application, is the fact that there still is an element of manual importing that you need to do. So there are two reports that you'll need to import whenever you're looking to generate certain reports within the sheet itself. Quite simply, the sales and then also the restock data. They're really quick, they only take maybe a couple of minutes tops to do the whole reports and get them onto the sheet and filter through. But because of that, just be mindful that we can only actually collect and store up to 30 days worth of sales data, and also there might be some other limitations that you come around. So again, this is about working between your sourcing tools and software itself. Now, because of the nature of the sheet and also the way how complex Amazon is, we are obviously going to try and create the most accurate information we can for you, but I do just need to stress that you should not be using this information for accounting-based purposes, because quite simply, we just cannot get the volume or the quality of data that we need from Amazon in certain reports. It would just become too complex. So we're going to give you very accurate information, but it isn't going to be 100%, say, for example, something like software, but this is going to be good enough for you to make good decisions on your business and where you need to go forward. Now, the sheet is a really powerful tool. We do certain best practices that we have learned from a number of 6 and even potentially 7-figure Amazon sellers. Now, a lot of this is going to be around the custom SKUs that we create, and that allows us to create a tracking from the moment you buy a product right through to the selling of that product. And it is that tracking which really starts to bring the sheet to life. Now, my strong tip for you is start using the custom SKUs, the listing uploader. That is really going to start allowing the sheet to come to life. But the one thing as well is it does take time for all that information to come in. You're not going to be able to install the sheet today and get the full rich data. It's about building in best practices for you, using those custom SKUs, and then watching those products that you've just purchased go through the whole Amazon sales cycle, get sold, and then obviously you're going to start seeing that data through the sourcing sheet and actually get that rich data. So what I think I'm trying to say is don't expect the data straight away. It's going to take up to a month to start seeing all these reports generated. And what we've seen from our users is that after that first month, second month, they really start to get a lot of insights into their business, and they can start doing some really good best practice to grow their business about just doing positive actions that are getting results. Now, as a result of this time frame or the lag time it takes from the moment you start the sheet today and all those custom SKUs start getting delivered, there might be some inaccuracies in certain elements of the sheet. Should we start, say, for example, around the VAPs, the 80/20 sheet, just bear with it as that first month goes through. It's going to really make a difference to what you're starting to see, and then you'll start to see that actually it becomes more and more data rich and allowing you to make good buying decisions and obviously restocking decisions as well. Now, you're more than welcome to add to this sheet, add extra tabs in, and even, should we say, reference data from the API connection that we have, and there is a special video about how to do that. But the one quick thing I would just recommend for you is don't touch any of the tabs you've got at the moment. Why? Quite a lot of them are referenced by what's known as indirect formula, whereby we reference by a fixed name. So if you start changing tab names, for example, what's going to happen is that those fixed name references, because that's how the sheet works, will no longer reference to the correct sheet and things will start breaking. What happens when that happens? Well, quite simply, we'll just take your existing data and copy it onto a new sheet. So any changes you've made will be lost. So if you want to add new tabs, not a problem, you can, but anything that's currently already in place, I would avoid making any changes to. So you get out there and enjoy the sheet and hey, start growing your Amazon business. Thank you very much.